that's how I manifested Matt. Hear me out. My 32nd birthday was the last birthday that I had before I started dating Matthew. And during that period of time, I had just stepped away from like a situationship that had not served me at all in any way, shape, or form. Other than that, it showed me how I needed to break away from like negative repeating behavior cycles. So every day I woke up, like even when I was my saddest and most loneliest, every day I woke up and showed up for myself in a way that I felt that I wanted a healthy and aligned partner to show up for me in my life. And it's not that I expect Matt to buy my windshield wiper blades. That's not the point. The point is that I recognized that I would get stuck in emotionally unavailable men because I was so emotionally codependent on my partners. And I realized that like my self-worth was so intricately woven into that very untrue belief that I had about myself, that like I needed a person to be happy and to feel complete. And I was also fearful that my birthday that year was going to be the loneliest one that I had yet. And I truly believe that the way that I showed up for myself that day, like it will be one of my most memorable birthdays, because I actually ended up like working that night, bartending. Everyone's like, why do you want to work on your birthday? And I was like, why? So that I can just be at home by myself. Like, why wouldn't I want to be at work with my coworkers or my friends? Like, why wouldn't I want to be at work, like doing something that I'm really good at and that I have fun doing? Like, they ended up getting me a cake and like ended up taking me out after work, and we had a really great time. And I'm going to share something with you that's super embarrassing, but I'm telling you, it is the reason why I ended up with Matt. Like, the man of my dreams, the only man I've ever been with in my life who's truly like grounded, healthy, stable, dependable, masculine man who I finally feel like I have equilibrium in my life with, where he doesn't have something hanging over my head, or that I mean as much to him as he means to me. Like, that power is there, because I've never felt like that in any of my other relationships. I've always felt like an emotional slave to other people because they always meant more to me than I think that I ever meant to them. And here's what I did. The hardest times were night times and Sundays, and I made sure that during those times I was there for myself. I would stop working with clients around 4:30, take myself to the gym, make sure everything was a vibe. I was always taking myself to the gym. I was always having fun when I was at the gym. I would go home and I would make myself a delicious dinner, and I made sure I had all my candles lit and my lights, my little sparkle lights on, and my apartment was such a vibe. And then I would take myself to bed. Like, my nighttime routine was such a freaking vibe. And even if the sadness and the loneliness still crept in, I made sure that I held myself and told myself that I would be okay. As embarrassing as that sounds, I would, if I was sad in bed, crying myself to bed, I would hold myself and tell myself that it would be okay. And I'm telling you that that's the thing, that's what worked. And it's not that I didn't know he existed. I knew very much so that he existed. In fact, I had the biggest crush on him. I had a crush on him from the moment that I saw him, years before I even knew his name. But I kept telling myself, it's either him or someone better. Like, I didn't know who this person was. I had no idea. But there was just something there, you know? And I had to actually release the outcome and be okay with, if it's not him, it's someone better. And I'm telling you, when I fully made that energetic disconnection, I shit you not, the next day is when we started talking. I recognized that a part of me was waiting. And literally, like, the night before, I was driving to work. It was the Super Bowl. And I was like, you know what? I'm done waiting. Whatever happens. Like, I cannot drive myself crazy over this anymore. And then the next day was Valentine's Day. And that was the day that we started talking, and we went on our first date only a few days later. And so that's the reason why I keep up with the tradition of getting windshield wiper blades for my car on my birthday.